What is happening? Okay, so sit rep. My portals are too close together. I try to go in here to go like check the nether. Check the nether. Look at this. Look at this. What is happening? Oh my god, I'm gonna lose all my stuff. There's a million shulkers out there, by the way. That's what's happening. There's a fucking million shulkers there. I can't get my shit. I can't get out. Oh god, man. Some of my stuff's probably falling in lava too, trying to get out of here. This is a fucking disaster. The portals are too close, so they linked. No, 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 no. What the fuck is this? What is this? I don't, I'm genuinely at a loss. I don't know what to do about this. Man, where did my other stuff end up? Bro, what in the Christ? I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. I found out why the shulker farm broke. I think the only thing I can do is grab backup wings, get a bow, and just kind of slowly tear it apart. Because what the fuck else am I supposed to do? Oh, man. What a disaster. A bunch of my shit's probably fallen into lava, hasn't it? In the first little wave. Okay, given where that stuff is, I think it's safe to say I might have lost some things. That's super not ideal, if I'm honest. I believe it's going to be a loss of at least one set of wings. One pick. For fuck's sakes. Boots are gone. I want to get some... I'm realizing I don't know if I can actually get out. Did it, man. This portal over here. That's so annoying, man. They're so far. They're so far from each other. Oh, they're all over the portal. Oh my god. Okay, so we can do. I have a bow. Don't have boots. Bunch of gear's gone. We're just gonna have to accept that that gear is gone forever, probably. Thank God I have backup wings. Not enchanted, which is really not ideal either. I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna have to make another portal somewhere else, like some distance away, I think, so that I can spawn in there, and and kind of go at them from a distance, because there's not really much of another option, another alternative. I can't go through that portal. What's the silk touch one? It's gonna. This is recoverable, right? Okay, like I just gotta keep that in mind. This can be sorted out. Is just gonna be a really obnoxious cleanup. All the shulkers are half dead for some reason, which I don't understand why that's happened either. But honestly, I'll take it. And thus begins the journey of removing the shulkers. This is just an overview of how many there were. And this is after I killed a bunch trying to actually get out to this point. They were literally everywhere. This place was a complete nightmare to clear. As you can see by this like time lapse of me going through it, this was probably about an hour of me working my way through, going every little bit at a time, killing stuff, going in. Did lose a lot, lost a pick, elytra, boots, a couple other tools. And after this is done, I don't think I said this anywhere, but I went and got replacements for all of that, went like digging through the nether and all of that. But yeah, the worst part, honestly, was these trees where I'd think I'd killed everything. And then there was actually a bunch of them hiding up in the shroom lights underneath like the canopy of the trees, which was really difficult. See, there's a bunch of them there. You can kind of get a little glimpse of them. Also, I only got 47 shulker shells from this. Killing all of these because they all fell into lava, or I couldn't get the shells in time. But this was not an effective farm. I cannot not recommend this enough. But got through it, and oh god, it was just such a mess. Okay, I think I got them all. I think. I don't see any more. I'm not getting shot anymore. So, okay. That's down. So, what to fucking do here is gonna be... We gotta break this. This portal's dead. Can't use it anymore. Christ, let's get out of this fucking cursed place, man. I hope this works. First off, we gotta break this portal. It doesn't function anymore, so it's not relevant. Going to bed. Gonna go sleep. This is why the shulker farm broke. This linked to the wrong portal, and they just teleported over here when they touch back. Now, real question is the shulker dead again? No, the shulker in there is not dead. Okay, it's fixed. Jesus Christ, dude. Oh my god, what a train wreck to open. It's fixed, it's working, everything's fine. My god. So I realized I never actually explained what I ended up doing here, even though I recorded it. I was muted because I was molding uncontrollably. I decided that my regular portal was cursed and I should just go in from the roof and break bedrock. So what I'm using here is a Bedrock Breaking machine that requires just some pistons and a haste beacon. This was designed by Carbsna, and then shown off and a little with this specific contraption by Lars. The video links are going to be in the description if you want to learn more about those. Basically, this is my best understanding is that it updates this piston so many times that when you end up breaking it and then placing a piston, it bugs it out and glitches through the roof. I don't have a better explanation than that. This is beyond my pay grade. But this is just me going through and digging the hole down. I figured having a hole with a ladder down to my old infrastructure, like where my netherite mines are, would be helpful because I lost my boots and I didn't have any ancient debris to go get it. So this was me breaking that and then heading into the mines to replace all the gear that I lost while emotionally recovering as best as I could. All right, so now that disaster is fully averted and everything's fixed over there, it's time for something that's pretty important. I'm thinking to myself, like, all the farms I want to make, all the buildings I want to make, all of the ideas, things got to go do, it's all overwhelming. But I think there's an important part of infrastructure that needs to happen. For example, I want to do a substantial amount of terraforming around the island. That's going to take ages, but it'll be much faster if we are loaded with beacons. So, it's time to make a wither skeleton skull farm. Now, design I'm using for this is one of the easier ones to pull off yourself by Ianxofour. Link's going to be in the description for that. I'm on the roof, But I have this place here marked. Because if I go under it... Oh, wrong button. If I go under it... We have this nice nether fortress nestled into this soul sand valley. Soul sand valleys are good places for nether skeleton... Wither skeleton skull farms. Because less stuff spawns here. It actually just spawns less things, generally speaking. So if we make a little platform, you actually see I've been here before during my investigation, getting some skulls and looking for this exact location, or a fortress like this one. So what I'm going to do is, because this place is a gigantic pain to get to, flying underneath, I'm going to dig a hole in the roof to go back and forth between the two locations and build it here. All we're going to end up doing, really, is there's something around the fortress called the bounding box. Got this, got mini HUD on that could let you see it. Basically, this kind of red outline around the top shows what is the highest area of a square that contains all of the parts, all the spawnable parts of the nether fortress. Also got light levels, you can ignore those. If you build a platform of nether brick above, like near the top of this bounding box, we can stand on the roof, AFK, and get a bunch of spawns. We can limit the amount of spawns of everything else with some other cool tricks we'll see when we get there. Until then, it's time to start digging. I'm going to use that machine again to dig myself a hole down. So, also, I've built this farm before, and going here back to a portal to go under to do stuff is really annoying. So I'm just going to build the machine here to dig through instead. Just easier. I forgot that using this actually requires a beacon, and I need to go grab a beacon. See, I need beacons. I need the beacons so badly. Everything I do requires beacons. I have no beacons. Beacons. And there we go. A nice, comfortable pit. Go back and forth. I'm at the part that's like kind of the most difficult, which is building the spawning platform while being alive. This is where I'm going to put it. I'm going to put it right here on this little nub. But I have to survive. And there's so many things that cause problems. And I don't think I put it at the right Y level. I'm going to go down and check again to make sure. Because it has to be that the spawning platform itself is 2 blocks below the top of the bounding box. What? So it should be at this level here, which is at 67. Yeah, it's too high. I can tell just by looking at it. Like, there's just so much shit happening all the time. I don't have good access to, like, potions and stuff, so I don't really have much of a counter to this. I'm gonna build a little... I'm gonna just dig into the wall for safety if I need to. So. This is my safety hole for investigating. The thing I really don't like about this mod that shows you, like, the hubs and everything is that, like, it disappears when you go into it. But I want it to be... I want to see it. I want to see the line of it. That's fine, though. It's so tall, by the way, because of literally, like, oh, my eyes. There's a structure, like, in this, essentially, that, like, raises the height of everything. Yeah, I have to, I'm, like, calculating all of my motions and moves. It's a better F3 mod, because this is actually really hard to look at while doing all this. It's also at the intersection of 4 chunks, which also, when you turn that on, is, like, really difficult on the eyes. Okay. Ow. Okay. Ah, fuck you. Damn it, this is gonna happen repeatedly, and I'm gonna be constantly jump scared. I put on my chest piece, but I don't want to get, like, knocked off into... the lava or anything and not be able to fly out. It needs to be 30 by 30. So 1 and 2, 28 needs to hide 14. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 8, 9, Ah! See, this is what I don't want to happen. No, no, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone, leave me alone. I'm not here. 8, 10, 11. Fuck me! Oh my god, this is gonna annoy the piss out of me. I'm ready to have my life ruined. Thankfully, I can stare at these chunk mortars, which makes combat substantially simpler. Hey man, why don't you make potions? I'd love to. I do not have the infrastructure for potions. We have to raw dog this. Some of these spots are so nerve-wracking because something knocks me off. I'm heading towards the lava, and I just gotta gamer reflex skills and just make it work. This place, it's already such an effective farm. Alright, alright. Finally turn those off for now. Jesus Christ. I do actually have to head home for more food. Well. Where was that hole before I go back down? Oh, I'm going back down. Here it is. I found it. Oh, shit. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. It's not looking good for me. Everything's fine. Never mind. Covered. Place is already being too successful. Oh my god, I know I need to go back into the hole. Back into the hole, back into the hole. Oh, get out of— what the— please. Now, I'm gonna be fucking— ow, what the— okay, I need to build in the part that is the over the lava to make this just safer. This is the area where they've been climbing up to punch me in the face. So this is an improvement, but I need the lava covered so that I don't have— it's not as risky being up here if something shoots me. I've been here for probably a total of like 10 seconds. Okay, no, like 5 minutes, and I've gone through like 10 of the food that I brought. Just getting my ass kicked by the random fucking— the thing I'm not looking forward to is that when this is done, stuff is going to spawn up here with me, which is going to be really unfortunate. Ah. It jump scares me every time. And you'll notice I do have like a lot of the hostile mob sounds off. Which probably isn't a good idea for this. But I find some of the noise is really aggravating. Are the piglins still angry with me? No, okay. We're okay. Our relationship is recovered. Ooh, let's go. Yeah, I don't have the mob sounds on because it's like in a lot of places I find it really annoying when I'm like actively playing, even though that would be like super helpful in some situations. Like if a gas fired at me, I would like to know, but I won't. But otherwise, I just sit here hearing, oh, or whatever gas sound like. And that's a solid impression, and I won't hear anything else. How have I managed to be one nether brick short? I must have lost one somewhere, and that's what must have happened. So this part is to prevent the magmas from spawning, because I need this much space. This is such a rough, like, texture to have to count. Thank you for the lighting. Oh, this one's wrong. Oh, it's wrong here. That's why. Okay. There we go. The most annoying thing so far is I keep getting hit. Ow. And it keeps messing up my grid. Oh my shit. Okay. Okay, the spawning platform is working, but it's making it so this is it's profoundly dangerous, and I don't have any materials, so this is actually going to get worse when I go and get the rest of the stuff that I need. Ow. Woo! Oh god, it's dangerous. The thing I'm scared about is that the way it, like, by the time I actually get there so I can, like, safely clear this out, it's just gonna respawn everything. Ow. Okay. I've made a safety compartment. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, we can go like, ha! Ha! The stuff about this, like, I'm doing right now is like very specific, right? Like, you have to make sure it's like everything's in the right spot, and I'm trying to like watch the tutorial at the same time, but I keep like tabbing over and getting shot from 115 miles away. I'm busy. Ow, fuck you. Why? Why is there gas here? Why is there gas here? Jesus. My fucking sanity. Okay, so for the time being, this is the spawning platform done. It would say to... I got the coordinates sorted. Tutorial, or a lot of tutorials that are a little older, would tell you to light the portal now. But there's a change in a recent Minecraft update, which is part of the reason that my shulkers exploded. In the way... As part of like the algorithm search changes and things like that. If anything goes through this portal while I'm not here, it'll make a new one. That includes things like any entity. Something just wanders in accidentally, because this is going to be active the second I start this. If I leave and something wanders into it, that's going to cause a disaster. And that disaster happened to me. What the? That blaze just shot my iron. We gotta get out of here. We can't do talking and story time. This area is dangerous. This is a cursed land. If anything went through that portal, basically, it would make a new portal on the other side. And that would cause a massive disaster. So, not gonna do that. I'm just turning these on, so I'm turning this on because it's easier to see what the fuck is happening for my coordinates. It's kind of ugly most of the time, but I desperately need this. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do like a specific storage solution for me that's like more effective for something that I would want. But I'm gonna make sure that the mechanics of the farm work entirely, and then I'm gonna make the storage because it's easier. I don't want to waste a bunch of time messing around with auto crafters and stuff until I actually have this done. Okay, so this is gonna be the overworld part of the journey. I need to make sure I have everything, because if I don't, this will be profoundly inconvenient. Oh, something's happening. Oh. Oh, this isn't a bad little spot. Okay. Oh, we're actually quite far north compared to where I was. And there's Badlands over there. Interesting. Okay. I could see why they didn't want to actually make a another portal here. Full desert and everything over there. This isn't the same one. No, I'm nowhere close to anywhere I've been. Always, these feel like such cursed little hallways, and it makes me upset because this hallway I'm making right now, right, is the place that when wither skeletons, they go after the iron golem, they will go through a portal. They'll end up here, and they'll be forced up here, so that they're then teleported up onto the roof. And these are such cool things that take advantage of the way that the nether portals actually like work with each other, because this one is lower at a specific location. When it goes through, when something goes through it on either way, it detects only the one that's below the roof. That's the closest one. This one's going to be a block higher, so it actually the closest one just by a single block is the one on the roof. So this little contraption here is going to be an elevator. And that's really neat, I think. I like that. 2, 3. Now, that should be it. See if it's working. All right. That part worked. Now I'm going to have to go below the roof and light that portal. And then hang out up here for a little while and see what happens. I figured I'd take an extra second just to show you the time lapse of the build and the sheer amount of times that I was attacked. You can see it's just chaos. It's just random stuff popping in, shooting at me. There's arrows flying everywhere. I have it turned down because of all the gas explosions. Like, just a million things attacking me all of the time. This is the platform filling up that I had to fight my way back onto, which was really difficult. But it's so stressful. Get potions. Do this with potions. And we could see that it worked because when I went up to actually deal with the upper part of the platform, you can see all the wither skeletons bunching up here, trying. They want in. They want that golem so bad. This is how I knew. I knew this farm was going to be good. Look at them. Look at them. Look at them. They're all so ready to go in. There you go. Woo! Okay, so if this is all working as intended, this will take a few minutes. Eventually, I should start getting some spawns. Let's have a look down, make sure they're pathfinding okay. And they are. Yep, they're all coming through. Piglins are leaving. They go towards the eggs, but the eggs are just far enough away that they're out of the spawning sphere. We have gas there. That's all right. Now the real question is going to be after a couple minutes, do we get any skeletons? We got to let them basically, they got to build up on the other side and push themselves along that little bridge that was made. I wish there was a way I could show the bridge. I wish I could do that, but if they end up there, like, it's like they're going through the portal but don't end up here. Then we have a different sort of problem. But it takes a few minutes to start up anyways. Because each mob has to be up the other side for 15 seconds. And that will work once it's filled. But the bridge has to get filled. Still pathfinding, okay. Yeah, they're still going. A lot of blazes, but they'll either come through or they'll end up, like, just randomly despawning, and that's okay. Wither skeletons. Yes. The farm is functioning. We got a skull already. Oh, that is gigantic. You gotta look at the corner to get the sweeping edge going. So yeah, as you can see, as soon as it starts, they start pouring out of here. But the main thing, of course, is the skulls. I have 2. I've gotten 2 from just doing this. Fantastic. So now then, now that the farm is working and everything is going great, it's time to build some storage. It's time to build a different little storage place. Because there's no way that this is going to be do a storage system that'll throw out the swords. It's just like kind of littering, I guess, is probably going to be a long-term solution. But I'm thinking it'll be beneficial to have. We auto-craft the bones. No. Leave the bones the way they are. We can auto-craft the coal and the coal blocks. A slot for the skulls. And we will be sitting pretty. Oh, this works. I'm so happy about this. This is like this is genuinely a game changer. Hey, I'm going to get the materials for the storage. Okay, I'm in a testing world here. Over-engineering a solution to a problem. So I wanted to have, as I said, storage for everything. And I wanted to have auto crafters setting up with the coal, turn it into coal blocks. But eventually what ends up running into a problem, right? Like if you have so this section here is like auto crafter right here. Items come in here, builds up, gets crafted, comes out down here, right? And you'd normally have a set of chests after this. Okay. You can tell I don't spend a lot of time in creative because I'm like always struggling when I get in here with the controls. Oh my god. Right. So you have like your chests down here, kind of lined up, and these two would be filled with coal, right? And that comes out of the auto crafters. It comes down, and you get your stuff. So the problem I'm running into though is that when you have these auto crafting setups, eventually what happens is this all gets filled. This barrel will fill up, or if you have this going into hoppers or something, they end up filling up. And then, but once everything's filled, nothing stops this from continuing craft. It just keeps crafting. So I was trying to think, is there a way that I could tell it to stop? Because when it crafts, if this is all full and this crafts something, it just fires the item out of the side. It just fires it kind of into the void. And you have a bunch of loose items, and then you're running into some problems. So I was like, okay, so I want to see if I can make something that detects when this is full to turn it off. But it would also be nice if it was also one wide and tileable the same way that these crafters are. When something is one wide, when something is considered like one wide, or it means, one block wide, tileable means that it doesn't interact with the system next to it when you stack them all next to each other. So if this crafter is going and this crafter is going, they aren't talking to each other even though they're right next to each other. The redstone doesn't influence each other. So I wanted to have a way to essentially lock this hopper here. And I realized that one wide wouldn't work, but I was like, maybe A-B tileable, where you have like one tile is one way and you have a different one, and then you could go back to the first one on the third slice. And I think I've over-engineered a solution here. But it works. It does function. There's probably a simpler way to do this. So now if like something's in here, probably a simpler way to do this, but this way once there is something in the barrel, let me take this out. Something goes in the barrel. That turns all this stuff on, and that actually locks this hopper here. So that stuff stops going into the crafter. And that would mean that there would be some buildup up here, but then eventually there's going to be item filters up here, and then items would stop. So this is an over-engineered solution. There's got to be an easier way to do it. I could lock a taller hopper, maybe? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'll figure something out. I'm going to keep working on this. Okay, so I took the over-engineered problem and made it even smaller, realizing the hopper chain's going to have to go up pretty tall anyways. So here we are. Now this is smaller. It works exactly the same. Hoppers will get locked, and the barrels get filled because of all the hoppers are filled. And this is where the item filter line is going to go. We're all set. I always wondered, like, why do redstoners love making things smaller? But then I did. For something that I figured out myself. And I was like, oh. This is me just sort of actually building the storage array. And occasionally going in and just smacking a few withers. And I need to know if there's a better way to do this sort of thing that isn't just like this gigantic wall of hoppers. It's so like disconcerting. I feel like I'm doing it incorrectly. But I don't know what else to do. Like, what else am I supposed to do? Also, by the way, scaffolding for building this, really annoying. Use dirt. Trying to like click on something while crouched on scaffolding is the most obnoxious experience on the planet. I should have used dirt the entire time. But yeah, like after I start building all this and I start like getting the necessary hoppers, like it looks like too many. It's absurd. there's got to be a better looking way to do it, but I don't know. If you do know, let me know. And if you don't, then that's understandable. I don't know either. But this is the storage. It works. It's done. It's all good. That's how farm is all done. Storage is set up. Got a disposal for the swords here. I think this has been going pretty well. So I finished the build yesterday, and I've been just sort of like trying to use it AFK, like late at night while I was doing other stuff. Progress is looking good. We got a good amount of blocks of coal. Bone chests are filling up pretty high. Skulls, the big stuff, got over a stack. And this was, when I set up the filter originally, I only put a single skull in there just for the time being. So it had to fill up completely to fill up this filter. And then there's another stack down there. Beacons galore. I think this is going to be really nice for making sure that I actually have the ability to build things when I want to build them. One of the main difficulties I personally find towards the start is I definitely, this is kind of like more a me problem, is I definitely get a little bit in my own head about what I do and don't have when it comes to building stuff. I think, oh, it's time to make sure I get this. I need to have this thing. I want to make this, but I don't have access to this. Even if I don't even use some random block, right? Like, I'm sitting here thinking about future builds, and I don't have an easy access to cyan dye. So I'm like, ooh, I should make some... So I can't make gray, like, cyan terracotta, which is a nice gray and, like, futuristic builds. I don't have moss for stone texturing, so I'm all like, oh, what if I need it? What if I need it? I also think about, like, the scale of difficulty when it comes to making even future farms ends up being beacons. This is what kind of slows me down. Like, oh, this is gonna take ages, so it's like a little bit, it seems like a little bit much. But now I won't have to. I can just make a bunch of beacons, have them around. Life's gonna be good. I'd end up realizing, I don't think I actually said this anywhere, that, like, I recorded a lot without shaders on. So the first thing, when I had the Shulker disaster, I was like, I need FPS performance. I need frames. I need as many frames as possible. So I turned the shaders off temporarily while that was going on. And then when I started building in the Nether, I realized, I was like, oh, I've actually been doing this stuff, and I don't... Like, I broke the roof and everything, and I haven't had the shaders on. Because I'm not used to doing it. This is gonna sound psychotic, all right? But you have to bear with me. I actually normally play when I'm just sort of like by myself. I play with shaders off, and I often play with all of the sounds off. There's nothing, because I'm multitasking. I'm watching something, I'm talking to somebody, I'm in a Twitch stream or something like that, and I find that all of the sounds of all of those sources to be really overwhelming. It's not often that I'm only playing this and nothing else, so I have the sounds off, and I just don't think about it. I turn off the shaders because I'm like, I don't really care. It's fine. And like sometimes, because my PC is getting older up there in the years, and given the fact that AI is ruining our lives, that I'm probably not gonna be able to replace any of it in any amount of time. I make things run easier on the PC if I can. It's just better. It's just easier for me. But for recording purposes, I feel like having things look a little bit nicer is okay. The only difference in that is I realized partway through my recording of building the platform down below is that the other thing too is I like the shaders primarily. It's to make sure that this looks good, right? It's like this looks good for other people. If I go down to the platform down here, I don't know about you guys. The shaders on, this is a garbled mess. I genuinely can't really make sense one way or the other of anything that's happening here. I find this to be like really messy, and maybe that just means I need to do a little bit more tweaking. I think it's also partially because of the lava right here, which blinds you and makes sure you can't see anything else. But like, this is really hard to see, especially because, like, you know, you have to make, when you're making farms, they have to be dark. That's the point. It's all based on light levels. You can't really see anything. So that's kind of annoying. I think it's good for like atmosphere when you're traveling through the Nether, but like looking at a farm, I think this kind of looks like a mess. So I just kept them off. Up here is fine. In places that are lit up, okay, it's okay. It's fine, I think. But just, it wasn't translating, so I kept it off. But they're back on currently. I just got 3 skulls just from, you know, occasionally swiping. Oh, another thing that was actually interesting. If I go over to this portal, so this portal over here is like if I want to go access the overworld side of the farm. So I can just go over here and have a look. Yeah, because that's the overworld section up here. And this won't have anything in it, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, because everything dies the second you teleport in up here, which is kind of annoying. I wish I could. I wish there was a way that I could showcase this farm working. But like, oh, what is going on up here? I think the particling looks a little bit. It was looking a little bit off in that one place I was standing. But actually, I realized looking over here, we got another huge mesa and desert area, which is super handy. There's also like happens to be above a couple of close by villages, which is kind of neat. I like the idea of like these villagers, you know, they're just living their lives the best they can. Excuse me, sir. They're living their best lives doing whatever, and then all of a sudden a stranger from nowhere opens up a portal from hell and makes an ungodly creation above their skies. So I think this is looking good. I have a bunch of beacons. I think I'm gonna go get a bunch of those. And then for the next project, I'm actually not sure. I'm reaching the classic the neurodivergent experience again of extreme decision paralysis, because I have so many things I want to do and I'm unsure of which. Oh, by the way, I covered up the hole and like marked it right here. If I ever want to go back down there, I can, but that's there. I have so many ideas of things that I want to do, and it's actually like, it makes it very difficult to figure out which one I want to do. So I could do this, 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 I have to do this, get this, and it's rough. It's rough out here. I don't think I actually mentioned this when I built it. I think this actually just sort of showed up. I don't think I said anything about it because I was so jarred by the Shulker situation. I kind of quickly threw together like a really, really basic smelter, just 20 furnaces for now. 20 furnaces because I'm using lava as the fuel source, and my lava farm has 20 cauldrons, so that's how big it is. And it's nothing super fancy. It's got a place where I put the lava buckets. It's got another chest over here where smeltable things go, and this little like gate, this loading gate, is literally the same as the one I put on the bee farm. So that's fine. I needed something. My goal was like, I want to have a smelter that's just like a chest in the wall where you just put stuff and then it just gives you stuff back, right? That's my goal, but I didn't know where to put it. I know this is empty because I haven't added any furniture or any like signs of life or anything, which is also something I need to do. But I was like, okay, well, the smelter would make sense to be with the storage because you smelt stuff where you store stuff. That makes sense. But doing the math and the calculations here, this isn't where this is going to end up, right? This actually needs to be about 7 blocks lower for the final like storage system that I'm going to go for. So I'm like, oh, that might not be here. I don't know where the walls are going to be. I don't know what's going to happen, etc. So I just like, I've been putting it off. But just like manually placing into a bunch of furnaces just got really annoying after a while. So I made a quick version just to have something here. Okay, what I'm going to be spending this last little bit of the episode doing is just trying to put together some of these like pretty, like, I would say important farms that will give me stuff that I need but aren't like gigantic projects. Because you'd be surprised, like, there's just like so many little things you want. So I want dyes. That's the thing that I'm looking for. And at the start, it's actually quite difficult to get a good number of dyes. So green dye, for example, this is how you get it. This is it. And this is small. This is literally 1 level of cactuses because I literally don't own enough cactuses to make more. But this will do. Man, this is kind of a shambles, right? This looks terrible, right? This is literally a hole in the ground where I'm gonna be collecting stuff. But that's how this is gonna have to look for now. It will be pretty later on. I'm gonna make a real one. This is basically the starter cactus. If you're not familiar with cactus farms and how they work, basically, you set up some cactuses here, and eventually, when the cactus tries to grow, it grows up, then it realizes there's a fence here, and it goes, cut that out. And it breaks the cactus, falls into the water, picks up over there. It's a slow burn, right? Like, they grow pretty slowly. So, this is not going to be us in a rush. The other thing that's really annoying about these things is that cactuses are good ways to destroy items. So when you farm cactus, you break a cactus and then it lands on itself sometimes and breaks, which is really awesome and not inconvenient in the slightest. But this is going to work passive in the background. We can get some green dye from that. That's a great start. Now, next little contraption to set up then is if I need cyan dye, and I'm freaking out about it because I want cyan, I need to make some sniffers. Thankfully, I've gone out earlier and I got some sniffer eggs. So I just need to make a little pen for them. I feel like the most difficult part when it comes to dealing with sniffers is actually just getting the sniffers. Once you get the sniffers, we can deal from there. We can make them a little home. Cactus? No cactus. Make them a little home and let them go. Now, I need moss for this, and I have a little spot that I've dug out. This is my little cave. There's a couple water elevators. If I go down this one, this is where I've been getting all my deep slate. As you can see, it's just this is like my strip mines, and I've just like hollowed it out to get as much deep slate as humanly possible. So this is where I've been going to get all my deep slate. I also have this other one, which is a little smaller. Just goes to this random place where I can get stone and things. But I'm thinking this is going to be a perfect place for some moss. Something I've also been thinking about, right, is that there's a few types of projects, a few types of farms that I like. I could never figure out how to do. There's some machines that are just so good. I'm just a really big fan of them. But I don't think I would have the know-how to fully recreate anything even remotely similar. But there are some farms that I would like to try to build myself. That's what I think I'm going to start doing. There's some I can't. Like the Shulker farm, I genuinely, no idea, no clue how I wouldn't be able to put that together in a way that was like effective and wouldn't just be like a monumental disaster. But there are some farms I think I could do. Like so, like this little design I'm putting together for Sniffers. I didn't see this anymore. I just knew the mechanics and kind of broadly understand how this would work. So I'm gonna do it, and that's it. That's literally all it is. But there's other farms that I feel like I could figure out. So like, I have a future plan for a whimsical iron farm, but I don't know how it would actually. I don't know how it would work in reality. Like, I have the ideas like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if the farm was like blank? But I don't know how to do it. So I want to like figure it out. I want to figure out the mechanics and the build and all that to make like a good looking, cool, whimsical iron farm. Because those have mechanics that I'm pretty familiar with at this point that I think I could manage. I don't have a lot of sniffers for now, so we'll keep this small. Where sniffers are gigantic, but no, we'll increase it a little bit. It doesn't need to be deep slate. I'm doing it for the style to keep it consistent. Is this a square? 8, 9. Oh, okay. The basic way that the sniffers work is they sniff and they dig stuff up. That's it, and they just leave it there. So all you gotta do to kind of like farm them is make a little track, like a little minecart track. So we have a little minecart track. We have this that goes out. And we'll go up. Don't need a lot of storage for this. Wouldn't even necessarily need this to be this big. I just like being a little bit overkill. Of course, it's dark. So we have this. We have this little minecart track. This is going to go up. And ooh, actually, we want to have it. Don't mind me. Don't mind the noises. This is me. This is me problem solving. Just go up and do this. Safety, actually, of course. I need a lever. Actually, I'm just gonna... Thanks. I have a million levers, and I never remember to bring them with me. So we have this little minecart track, and that's going to be underneath this moss. Moss farm is actually something I wouldn't mind trying to figure out myself as well. Just you know, just to learn, just to figure it out. See what I can't manage. Of course, this guy watches HermitCraft, sees the moss wars, and wants in. We have this little like just area of moss, and then and bring the fences. Yeah, we just fence it in. I don't think Sniffers have any natural predators, right? Am I correct in that assumption? I don't think anyone comes and attacks them. It's pretty dark for the moment. Some lights in the corners just for now. We'll make this one skin. Make it pretty later. And then we just plop down our eggs. And we wait. We're going to be waiting for quite some time. Because basically what's going to happen is those eggs have to hatch. The baby Sniffers have to grow. And they have to dig up the right types of seeds to breed them. But those will all show up here. And I can just plop this in, set it, and forget it. Minecart's going to go around. And that'll just always be going. It'll go around. In the future, basically, whenever the Sniffers dig something up, right, they just, like, plop it on the ground. Minecart will drive by underneath, pick it up. What are you doing? And drop off everything into these chests. And that's it. That's the entirety of... That's the Sniffer farm sorted. There's going to be a little bit of maintenance to grow them, but that's done. You see, by the way, in terms of raw time, I've been recording for the Cactus farm and the Sniffers. That's been 20 minutes. So I'm just gonna, let's just bust out. Can I just bust out as many farms? Can I bust? Yeah, I'm gonna try to put together just a bunch of farms. As many as I can. Because there's a lot of just like random tiny materials that I would like to just have. And why not just get them done. So Sniffers are sorted, the Cactus is sorted. Also, this is another thing too. It's like I'm gonna make some farms as well. But I think what I want to do is make them and then like following designs and then try to figure out my own based on the information I know of some things. So like moss farm. When I make a moss farm, I'm probably gonna make one that's like that people know. It's like a sorted design already, but then I'm gonna try to figure out one myself. Just see if I can't do it. See if I can't figure it out. I'm a smart guy. Despite what the beginning of this episode would demonstrate. I'm just clumsy, and I think learning would be good. Last thing I'm going to put together are some quick flower farms in some specific areas that give me specific dyes. Playtime. So there's a flower farm thing that I made. I don't know who came up with it originally. They're very, very simple to make, and flower farms can be used. You can use this to I can get some dyes and some actual flowers for decorations if I need them. So I'll put together a quick one right here, just to be like a general one. So they're pretty simple. We need, oh, I didn't grab the building block part. Damn it. Yeah, so we just need a little space here. We need 9 pistons. 2, 3. So the pistons are going to go 9 here. We go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We actually dig out 2 here. We'll have a space. Have that out like so. One of the problems we're having, like, efficiency is actually really difficult. I keep accidentally digging more dirt than I want to. Have that. We'll have another set of blocks here. Go pistons. That's wrong. There. Servers, and we go note block, server, redstone line. But same on the other side. Note block, this redstone line. And we're gonna have a hole in the center. Here. Dispenser facing up. Dig down. Torch in hand so I can see what's going on. And we go observer facing up, over. Fill the space back in. And upper line. Just and we have chest here. Another one for storage while we're here. Really obnoxious really quickly. I didn't bring fences to keep this in. 1 second. You know, sometimes you shouldn't be in a rush to do things. You should just sort of take your time and walk normally. Me, I'm like, oh no, I forgot something. I gotta go get it. I gotta go get it as quickly as possible. And then you die in your own base. This man, what a mess of a person. Well, all right, moving on. At least it was in my base, not somewhere else. So grab the fucking fences. Walking carefully. No shortcuts. Safety. So I have bone meal. Take bone meal. I'm going to put it in this chest. That's going to slowly fill up that over the dispenser. Actually, I'm just going to fill up the dispenser right off the bat to make my life a little easier. And just for, you know, these produce like a crazy amount of stuff. So it's just easier to just keep it at least a little bit contained. So I'm going to turn it down in for your view. But if you bake this or something like this yourself, just keep in mind it is catastrophically loud. But bone meal's in there. Basically what happens is when I hit this note block, that's going to power these pistons to go over. The observer detects the change in the note block being the note that it's going to make. Because the note blocks make a note based on what's underneath it. This actually detects it, fires it back. And that just fires it back and forth until I hit it again. So have the primer, and we go, whoop. And we just let this go as much as we want to until we get enough stuff. You can see, a bit difficult to turn off sometimes. You have to try to time it right. But you can see how much stuff it's made. We've got tons of different types of flowers here. That's given us a whole bunch of poppies, cornflowers, oxeye daisies, and azure bluets. So that's given us stuff that we can make red, yellow, light, 2 different ways to make light gray and blue. And that's just right here, and that's just bone meal powered, and we can have that at literally any time. Now, the one thing that's really cool about this design, about this little machine, is I can make this anywhere. So a lot of places, the flowers depend on where you are. So if you want a specific type of flower for a specific type of dye, you just make this wherever that happens to be. Handily, nearby, in a lot of different locations, are different flower types. So if I fly over here, for example, here we are. We find ourselves in a meadow, which is completely filled with these, what are these called? Wildflowers and iliums. So, make one here, we get wildflowers and iliums. There's also, really close by, which is actually really handy, in this direction, and in this direction, flower forests. Flower forests are great because they have specific flowers in little boxes, so you can just make that farm for the type of flower you want. So some of the ones that are like also that are very handy and like location specific. Now I'm gonna go just literally make another one here really quick. Come from swamps. We're loaded with swamps in this area too. So we are now here, and if you bone meal the grass here, we get these blue orchids. Very good looking. Makes light blue dye. So we can take a little section here, just literally just right here. These are so nice because they're just like, they're really cheap to make and really easy. Once you've kind of put one together. They're not particularly difficult. And like, I'm making like even like expensive versions of them because I'm like saying like, oh, I want to like highlight or like make a little square around it. With the building blocks, don't need to do this. This isn't required. That's more for just like, I don't know, my own brain, I guess, and being like, this is the area I've cordoned off as flower related. Walking through my halls at a respectable pace so I don't break my neck on the walls again. Simple chest for storage. And something I also like to do in these places when I make these around on a server is also add a little compost machine. Just because like one of the things you also get is just like, as is the bane of my existence and everything I do, you end up with 100,000 wheat seeds. And that's annoying as hell. So nice little compost place. And you can put the bone meal back into the dispenser at the same time. And like, look, like think about how quick this is. I've only made this in a few minutes. But that's also a lot of it because I've done this before a few times. You can plop these in pretty quick in your own world. Okay, so that's in, and we can go. Hup. Now we're getting blue orchids, which you cannot get anywhere else except for here. It does take a few tries to get it to stop functioning, but you know, I think that's worth it. Yeah, see, tons of blue orchids. Put that in there. The actual wheat seeds. Throw them in the garbage where they belong. Including this one. But now, super reliable light blue dye source. It's just here. Easy. And that's going to bring us to the end of the episode. What a time! What a bunch of stuff happened. One of the things that I've consistently struggled with when it comes to like video making is the like what is going to produce. Oh, my Sniffers have hatched. Oh my heavens! Hello, Sniffers. Cursed, strange beasts. But they are babies. They will grow with time. Ah, fuck! It scared me. You know, one thing I really struggle with is that I don't have a good idea. I've said this before. I don't know how much content is going, like I do, that's going to make it into like minutes in a video. And I recorded a bunch of stuff, and I was thinking to myself, oh, I probably need some more, so I'm gonna just kind of like bust out these farms as well at the same time, and put that in here just so to make sure that like video stays like a good length. I like the idea of like, you know, exciting, but, you know, also relaxed content. You get to see as much of the journey with me as possible. And then I actually put everything into editing and didn't realize how much there actually was that I thought was really interesting I could keep. No idea. I still keep like, I'm beating myself up about like making all these farms and stuff when this place is still so ugly. And I'm struggling with that. But you gotta make the infrastructure. It's the infrastructure. Make all of that as much as possible, and then you can kind of buff out your supplies, and then you can start making things beautiful. And that's going to be coming in the future. So, for example, just from these, the dyes are going to get from that, and from the flower farms, I'm going to go around and make a few extra flower farms for some other dye colors, and that's going to be excellent. And then I'll have some stuff to start like actually making some good-looking builds. But I need the infrastructure. It's more difficult when you're by yourself. You know, it's more difficult to get stuff because it's only you. You can't get it from other people. Hopefully, but thankfully, a cactus farm can't go wrong catastrophically the same way that the Shulker farm did. I didn't show this in the video anywhere, because I was like, when I realized that this was a problem, I was busy molding out of control, right? But if we go back to the Nether, just show you this now, right? This is the Shulker farm right here. We free cam, we see the Shulker farm. We go straight down from here. This is where the old portal was in this little hut, and that doesn't really correspond with where it should be in the overworld. The problem was that on the overworld side, the portal wanted to be over here more, but there's no valid places along here in this area for the portal to spawn. And I never checked. I never checked to make sure that it actually lined up. But it didn't. So as a result, one of the portals on the overworld side is actually closer to here than anywhere else. So that was what ended up being the problem. So basically, if you're going to build farms like this, make sure just check your portals. It's hard. They always try to find whatever is closest. There's no linking anymore. Portals just try to find whatever's closest. So keep that in mind. But for now, that will be it. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!